Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for coming. Uh, like Leena said it very clearly, I don't belong to what were called as activists, but I think I call myself as being politically active. And why did we think of this conclave? Why did we think of this platform called India Inclusive? It's a very broad platform. In the last few years, we have felt and been increasingly disturbed by the way our ideas about our country and its social values have been hijacked. There is an evangelical zeal and a mob sentiment. And sometimes as a citizen you wonder, how can I get my voice across? This is an effort into trying to take this issue beyond discussing with friends while having dinner or in cafeterias to a platform that is wider, open, and into inverted commas, inclusive. The idea is to coalesce alternative sentiment into something more concrete. This takes away from being merely a spectator into a participant in the way we shape our society and our values. So, briefly, an inclusive society, if you were to go to the text, is a society that overrides differences of race, gender, class, generation, geography, and ensures inclusion, equality of opportunity as well as capability for all members of the society to determine to an agreed set of social institutes that govern social interaction. Now, this is what I could get from various texts. We are at a time when this is seriously being questioned. We are at a time when I think all of us need to get together and try and change these times, which are seriously dangerous for democracy. I can understand most of us are frustrated with the way politics has happened over a few years, various political parties. But some people have taken advantage of this frustration, highlighted the differences, and like Professor Sandel from Harvard says, from a market economy we've gone to a market society. And marketing now has reached almost every aspect of life. So this has resulted in a decline in the spirit of civic values. So we now talk of borders, enemies across the borders. We remove all kinds of ambiguity, harden the distinction between insiders and outsiders to take what we call as get back to our culture and take back our country from these opposing forces. When I first used to talk, my wife and I, with friends and all that, the invariable answer was, and to which I am also very guilty about many years ago, that no, India is, we Hindus in general are very secular people, we're very, understanding and all that. And we decided not to discuss controversies in politics, hoping that this would all die away and avoid contentious issues. This head in the sand attitude has resulted in a situation where now we have been completely overtaken by extremist views. So what has happened is we do not engage in morally robust questions of public life. And this has resulted in a vacuum that has been completely overtaken by right-wing nationalists. So if you were to question anything, then you're anti-national. If you were to question anything, then you're against the society, against the majority. So this has resulted into a lot of antagonism and all that. Understandably, the citizens are anger. They have anger and resentment. And now this whole idea of a national identity is being questioned. Every time you say something, every time you voice an alternative opinion, You're questioned whether you belong to the same group, you belong to the same country. And that has resulted in such a bipolar way of existence that I think we as liberals, we as different thinkers need to get together, settle our differences, and look for a larger. Otherwise, we'll slowly and surely be overtaken by this enormous force that is coming on us. The marketing technique, the lies that come out, the way they are able to troll anyone who opposes a point of view, all worrying situations. And that people like me, people who are engaged in regular way of working, are not wanting to get associated, simply A, out of fear, and B, probably it won't affect us. It's only when the flood waters reach our gates that we need to rise up. I don't think that is right. I think we need to all get together. We need to make sense of our condition, repair our civic life. This is how democracy is going to work. Otherwise, it's going to fail. We cannot look at inspirational leadership. Leadership would be great if there was someone terribly inspiring and all that. But I think as civil society, think of members of this, citizens of this country, we need to get together and challenge these forces, and hopefully one among us would be a leader who will challenge the situation that is happening right now. Thank you very much.